Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but there is a lot going on in reality. The intensity has just dialed up, and this is the time where we can fall into the trap of reaching out into reality and trying to control the outcomes and trying to control what we think reality should look like, rather than trusting the work that you're doing within, trusting all of the preparation that you have made within self and that relationship that you have developed within yourself, trusting that and knowing that reality has ways we know not of. We're not the ones who manifest how things unfold. We are the ones to come back and stay in that commanding role of the observer, which is called I am, and then sitting back and letting reality do its thing. And sometimes that can be very unexpected, it can be intense, it can look like things are moving in the opposite direction, but it's all part of the path. And I want to share the experience that I had last week with the cyclone here in Australia, which was like, what? I mean, we don't have cyclones in the area where I live, but of course there was one, because that's how intense things are, and the volume is turning up. So I want to share this example with you so that you can remember this when things are appearing intense in your reality, and to remember nothing is what it seems right now. This is the time to call on all of the work that you have been doing leading up to this point, that relationship that you have developed with your internal self. Now is the time to turn towards it and trust it and put your faith in it, and to stay with it when reality appears to be going in all sorts of different directions. We're just going to get straight into today's video. So if you would like to know more about me, if this is your first time here, you will find more details in the box below this video. But I want to get into today's video straight away because I actually haven't recorded a video in a couple of weeks. The last couple of videos I recorded ahead of time because I took the last 2 weeks off to go down to Sydney for my birthday. It was my birthday last week, and I wanted to give myself a little holiday and also keep up with these videos. But these last 2 weeks were crazy here in Australia. There was a lot happening, so of course it was perfect that I had the time off, because we had a cyclone blow through and shut all the power off. So of course everything was quite perfect the way it unfolded in terms of taking these weeks off. But you know, this work, the work that you're doing, the work that I'm doing, and the work with I Am, it has to be a daily practice, because reality, especially at this point in time, is so intense and so intoxicating and so inviting that it is easy to slip out of your I am presence, which is the observer of reality, and to fall into the reaction mode of everything that is happening out there. And there is a lot happening. There is an ascension process happening. There is a shift in consciousness. There is a split of timelines. I'm sure that you're all familiar with a lot of this because it's happening now and we are seeing it in our realities. So the point of this video is to invite you to trust your reflection, trust your reality. If you're doing this work and you're committed to being who you are, which is I am, and staying in consciousness and staying in that commanding role of I am, that is the correct use of consciousness. Consciousness is the one and only reality. And reality is the reflection of consciousness. So if you are using consciousness correctly, then you know that reality is a reflection of consciousness. But we are not in control of how reality reflects back consciousness. But again, if you are using consciousness correctly, which means staying in I am as much as you can, then you can trust your reality. You can trust the reflection, even when that reflection looks like it's going in a completely opposite direction or different direction to what you would have expected. So prior to this cyclone coming through last week, I had already blocked the week out for my birthday, and I had planned to go down to Sydney, which I did. Prior to that trip, I was working on my home story, because my home story, it's become very clear that the manifestation of this home was a trauma bond. I manifested the same home story into my reality. Once again, history is repeating itself in my home, but the beauty is I now know what to do. I can see it clearly, unlike I've ever seen it before. And I had a massive breakthrough on this home story a couple of days before I left to go to Sydney. So I left on the Saturday, and on the Sunday I found out about the cyclone. My home was in the direct line of the cyclone, and all of the information was that this was going to be bad. It was a category 2, it was likely to be a category 3. Now, you may be thinking that I was manifesting the cyclone away using I am. And that is not actually what happened, because for this cyclone to suddenly show up in my reality, I know that it is part of the reflection of my story. So there was a part of me that knew to trust this cyclone and to trust the purpose. It wasn't a negative thing. Now, I did have the fear response, especially because it was a collective fear response here. Everyone went into full fear and anxiety, and of course a lot of people, their PTSD was triggered from the 22 floods that we had here. So there was a lot of fear, there was a lot of anxiety. Something that appears negative may not be negative, especially if you know that you are using consciousness correctly. So for me, I knew that I had been using my consciousness correctly because I was in I am and I was working on my home stories, and now there's a cyclone heading for my home. I know that I can trust it. I can trust my reality. I may not understand how my reality is reflecting it back at this moment, but I can trust what is unfolding. And that is the kind of times that we are in at the moment. Everything is shifting, everything is changing, and the work that you're doing, your internal work, is what can hold you in what appears to be negative may not be negative. What you are seeing as bad may not be bad. It just looks bad right now. But remember, everything has its positive and negative charge. Everything in reality, every event in reality has a positive and negative charge. Every person has a positive and negative charge. Every situation has a positive and negative charge. So I know that this cyclone has a positive and negative charge. Now, the collective conditioning is focused on the negative charge of that cyclone, meaning that cyclone is negative. It's bad, it's dangerous, it's destructive. It's going to damage a lot of homes. It's going to end up in floods. You know, it's bad, bad, bad. And we need to do all of these things to prepare for the badness of this cyclone. I definitely got caught up in that panic internally. I was feeling the fear, but at the same time, I was also aware of, I kept coming back to my consciousness, because I know that as long as I'm in the correct use of consciousness, which is I am, then I can trust my reality, even if it's a bit full on, it's a bit intense. I know to trust it. Throughout this period of time, as the cyclone was approaching, I kept getting signs from my reality that I could trust what was happening. So for example, when I was in Sydney, I was staying with my very good friend whose address is 1111. Now, I've been talking with the angels since 2001, and they communicate with me through numbers, especially through 1111 or 111. So I know that the fact that I'm staying with my friend whose address is 1111 is no coincidence. It's no accident. Again, I'm safe. I kept coming back to, yes, this cyclone is coming, but yes, I am safe, and yes, it is safe. This cyclone is not out to destroy. It is not out to hurt. It is not out to damage. Yes, there would be some damage, but this cyclone was something other than what we are conditioned to believe cyclones are. The other sign that I was getting is that it was due to hit on my birthday. All of this was telling me that this is a gift. There was just so many signs from my reality that you can trust what is happening. The cyclone's name was Alfred. I looked up the etymology of Alfred, which meant wise counsel. This cyclone was a counselor. It was of wise counsel, and it was clearing out what was no longer needed. Now, when I was in my fear state, I was saying I am Alfred and I'm moving back out to sea. But as I was commanding it, it didn't feel right, because I felt like By removing the cyclone, I was removing the purpose of the cyclone, which was to remove that which is no longer needed. Because it was saying that it was going to be a Cat 3, I actually said, I am Alfred and I am just calming the farm. I'm calming down. I am reducing the intensity so that it could still do what it's meant to do. It could still clear out the old and what is no longer needed, but it didn't kind of add to the destruction. It didn't create damage. It didn't harm anyone. So I was just commanding that I am Alfred and I am calming down, I'm reducing the intensity, and I am safe so that this cyclone could come in and do what it needed to do, which was clear out the old. And that is what we are seeing all around the world. That which appears to be the opposite of what you think is good is actually good because it is clearing out the old systems, the old structures, the old unnecessary things that cannot come into this next ascension of consciousness, which is happening right now. And we are all feeling it. Everyone's experiencing it, especially if you're going on in this work. And there is a split of timelines, meaning there is an external timeline and an internal timeline. So if you are taking the external timeline, nothing right or wrong, good or bad with either of them. But if you are taking the external timeline, you're going to be subject to those external forces. If you are taking the internal timeline, which is the one of internal work, the one of where you're turning within to consciousness, you're working with I am, you are going to be seeing something else. You are going to be seeing things differently. Trust the thing that is coming towards you, even if that which is coming towards you appears to be unfavorable. If you are taking that external timeline, then yes, that's what you will experience. But if you are choosing that internal timeline, then you can see that there is a higher purpose for what you are seeing in your reality. And that which looks and appears bad based on past experiences or collective consciousness, you can look further beyond that and see a greater, higher purpose for what you are seeing. And your reality will tell you. My reality gave me so much information to tell me it's okay, you're safe, everything is taken care of. 1111, the fact that it came on my birthday, the fact that I was in Sydney, also the fact that its name was Alfred, which meant wise counsel. There was enough information for me to know, okay, this cyclone, while it's still a cyclone, there is a higher purpose for it. And there was. It did what it needed to do. And I realized that with these storm events that we have had recently and with these power outages, this is part of the shakeup. This is part of the ascension, the Earth ascension that is happening now, that we are all experiencing. Either you're experiencing the ascension or you're experiencing the chaos of it. But either way, there is a raising of consciousness, there is an ascension, and with that ascension process, there is a dropping away of that which is no longer needed. So let it happen. And the funny thing about this whole experience, one of the things that I have been meaning to do for the last couple of months, and I've bought all of the equipment, is I have been meaning to stain my deck, but I've been procrastinating on doing it because I've had to move all the furniture. So as this cyclone was coming through, we were told that we had to remove everything from outside. So I had to ask my neighbors, who kindly, amazingly agreed to move all of my outdoor furniture from outside inside. So when I came home to a completely empty deck. And I was laughing because I thought, yep, okay, no more excuses. It just felt like reality was going, all right, here you are. Here's your clean deck. There are no more excuses. So I've just spent this last weekend staining my deck, thanks to my neighbors having brought everything in. So this cyclone was very helpful because I finally got around to doing the thing that I have been procrastinating. And yes, my house is completely safe. It was a little messy outside when I came home, nothing that a good cleanup doesn't fix. So I was very grateful. And it just served as such a powerful reminder that the intensity of reality, what may appear to be bad, may not be. It may be part of this dismantling and the letting go and the collapsing of those old structures and systems that are no longer needed for the ascension of consciousness, for the expansion of consciousness. We cannot move into this next level of consciousness while we're holding on to old structures and old systems and old ways of being. All of these experiences that we've seen in reality of late, of recent years, has been directing people in. Also COVID, it has been pointing in. Turn in, turn in, turn in. Come back to the source. The source is in here. It is not out there. If you are taking the external path, meaning you are looking out there at reality, you are going to be subject to what you are seeing out there in reality. But if you take the internal path, which is where you are turning in and turning to source and turning to I am, you are going to be having a very different experience. And part of that experience is expanding beyond third dimension, meaning there is so much love and support coming from other galaxies, interdimensional beings. It's happening now. I mean, I'm experiencing a much closer, very direct relationship with the Palladians. I mean, this is real now. This is real, and I'm sure you're experiencing it too. And if you're not, it's super easy. You can just open that portal and invite that in. If you are inviting in any interdimensional beings, make sure just to check in with yourself first so that you can feel that who you are speaking with or communicating with is who they say they are. So just again, this is all about you trusting your intuition. It is about you trusting the work that you're doing. If you're using consciousness correctly, and then reality reflects back something that is completely unexpected, trust it. Trust that it is part of the unfolding. Your reality is unfolding in ways we know not of because we are not the ones in control of reality. But trust yourself, trust I am, trust the correct use of consciousness. And if you're looking out there going, holy shit, that's scary, come back to the one who is observing that which is scary, which is I am. And then remember, I am scared, I am safe. I'm choosing I'm safe because I am is the one who commands that which you are experiencing through reality. So I am safe, I am my home, I am safe, I am whatever is happening in my reality, and I am safe and I am for my highest good, and I am unfolding in a beautiful, easy way, even if that is uncomfortable and intense at times. It's okay. This is what we've all been preparing for. Literally this time right now that is unfolding, this is what this work has prepared us for, has prepared you for. And yes, things are intense, and it's likely that while there are no predictions because this moment is all there is, if it does continue to be intense, which it appears that it may, just come back to I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. Because you are. When you are in I am and you are claiming I am safe, your reality will reflect that back. Even if you have a cyclone barreling straight for you and straight for your home, you are safe. And everything is unfolding perfectly. It is for your highest good, and it is for the highest good of all of us and for the earth who is ascending at this point in time. This is a very exciting time to be alive. It's happening. It's underway. So hold on to I am and enjoy the ride. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.